Hello everybody, my name is Vero, this is Vero Reads, and today I have a book haul. It was my birthday a second ago, and for my birthday I decided to go to Bath. I love Bath. I went to the Jane Austen Center and got afternoon tea. The afternoon tea at the Jane Austen Center, it's one of the best things I've ever had. I'd never had afternoon tea beforehand. The tea they have a Jane Austen blend that's amazing. They have homemade scones and I think homemade vegan butter or something of the sort. It's just delicious. I highly recommend it. But of course, that's not all I went there to do. I also wanted to buy some books because I never buy books. And I decided to enjoy my day and my paycheck and just grab myself some books. I really never usually buy books, especially I never do like big spending days, like big hauls like this ones. You know where all of this started? All of this started from this book here. I've been trying to get my hands on this book for a while. I didn't want to buy it online. I didn't find it at the library and I could not find it in any physical shop. Even in Bath, I only found it in one of the many bookshops that I visited. And so yeah, I started my journey with wanting to buy this book. And then I said, it's my birthday week, I might as well go and make a list of everything that I want to buy. I did not find everything that was on my list, but I did find a couple of things. So I started my day at Mr. B's Emporium. I love Mr. B's Emporium. The vibes are great. There, I almost bought Death of the Author by Nnedi Okorafor, but the thing is that I hate hardbacks. I don't know if you can tell, but most of my books are paperbacks. I will read a hardback if it's a small book or if it's from the library and that's the only copy they have. So I didn't end up buying anything from Mr. B's Emporium. After that I went to Waterstones, and in Waterstones I got a bunch of books because the unfortunate things with Waterstones is that in order to get points, you need to spend a certain amount. Like if you spend $9.99, you're not gonna get the full point. You're just gonna have a half point. So, and the same thing applies if you're spending £15. You're not gonna get 2 points or 1.5. You're just gonna get 1 point. And if you're already there, might as well buy enough books so you get a certain amount of points. And that's what happened. And this is what I got from Waterstones. This I had on my list for a long time because I heard Olivia from Olivia's Catastrophe. I know, I always mention her, it's not my fault. She has impeccable taste. I was looking for it everywhere and I couldn't find it. I finally found it at Waterstones. I was really excited about this book. It talks about two bodies lie in the garden of a sprawling property in Oak Creek Estate, a wealthy gated community in Dallas, Texas. The bodies belong to the parents of Ezri, Eve, and Emmanuel, who have long since abandoned the childhood home in which their parents remained all these years. A home that has haunted and hollowed them throughout their lives, in a neighborhood where they grew up as the only black family, hoping to survive a place that wanted to claim them, expel them, and ruin them all at once. In the wake of their parents' death, Ezri and their siblings are forced to confront the reasons they left, the nightmares that have held them captive, and the possibility that realities exist beyond those that have forged them. Bold and tender, Model Home is a powerful meditation on the power of memory, loss, and identity. I'm not sure if this is magical realism, fantasy, supernatural elements, or if it is just none of the above, but it sounds incredibly intriguing. I love siblings dynamics. I love family histories that need to be uncovered, and I love the exploration of generational trauma and having to overcome racism. Everything about this sounds incredible. I don't want to read it now because it sounds so good. I always do this, but I'm so happy that I finally own it, and I think this is one of those books that I will recommend to everybody. I also got this because we're reading this for my short classics book club. I heard great things about it, and I needed £4 to reach a certain points level. This is Fleche by Mary Jean Chan, and in January I read Bright Fear by Mary Jean Chan, and I fell in love with that poetry collection. I went into Waterstones wanting to buy Bright Fear, but it was next to this, and I haven't read this. My library doesn't have this, and so I just need it. I need to read it, and one day I will buy Bright Fear as well, and probably everything else that Mary Jean Chan has written, because I think I love her. I think I'm in love, and I'm really excited to read this. I'm trying to contain myself for the sake of this video, but I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Then, spontaneously, I was about to walk out and I saw this African Psycho, and I need to read you the back. In an unnamed Congolese town, Gregoire Nakobomayo, orphan, car mechanic, and petty criminal, has decided to become a famous serial killer. With guidance from the long-dead murderer Angualima, he plans a series of attacks. The only problem? Gregoire just isn't very good at this. Following Gregoire's bungled attempts to rise to glorious infamy, African Psycho is a playful, fleet-footed satire of obsession and ambition in the modern age. I had to buy it. I'm so excited to read this. And it is translated by Christine Schwartz Hartley from the French. I'm guessing it is in conversation with American Psycho in some way. I love the design. It sounds incredible. It sounds amazing. And I cannot wait to read it. I'm really hoping that I will read all of this incredibly soon, even though I'm in a bit of a reading slump, kind of. I don't know, maybe. But anyway, after that I got Elsewhere by Nguyen. How do you know this is all real and happening? How can you be sure you haven't already died in the earthquake and are just living in the afterlife? Both contemporary and ancient, real and surreal, these 9 iridescent, witty and wondrous stories range from China to Dublin to London and Stockholm, as they explore ideas of dispossession and longing. I'm on my short story collection journey. In the past few months, I read quite a few short story collections, whereas before it was something that I just didn't do because I could never get into them unless they were interconnected short stories collections. But now I have a really big appreciation for just plain old short story collections, and this one sounded amazing, and I also heard really good things about it. This feels very spring, summertime to me because it sounds very liminal, but in a very fresh, new, exciting way. And then I got this, the Disenchantment by Celia. I had this recommended to me by someone somewhere, but I have to admit that I have no idea when I will read this because it's longer than I thought. Like, it's 350 pages, but the font is minuscule. Takes up every single inch of the page. And it is historical fiction, very sapphic and queer historical fiction, but it is historical fiction. Everyone connected to the court of Louis XIV has something to hide. For the Baroness Marie Catherine, it is her androgynous, self-assured lover, Victoire. When Marie Catherine is threatened by her jealous husband, Victoire's desperate efforts to protect her result in an act of murder. In this gripping tale of love, royal intrigue, and the power of a great storyteller to suspend her audience disbelief, only 2 things are certain. Paris is a fearful place, and one must be both fierce and cunning to survive it. It feels very Three Musketeer, but cunty. And I don't want to read the Three Musketeers, but it is cunty. So I might just leave it there for now. I also did not just buy this for me. There's somebody in my life that I would probably really like to read this. So I bought it for them mainly. But it was also on my TBR list, so it's for more than just me. Oh, and then lastly, I went inside Bath Market because there is a second-hand bookshop stand, and I just got this, which is Eric by Terry Pratchett. I've read a couple of the Discworld novels. I've never tackled them systematically. I really like these editions, like this older. Now there is some more modern looking editions, but I really like this one, and it's really short, which I like, and I really liked the design of it. What does it talk about? Eric is the Discworld's only demonology hacker. Pity he's not very good at it. There is a theme of people wanting to be something but not being very good at it. All he wants is his 3 wishes granted, nothing fancy: to be immortal, rule the world, have the most beautiful woman in the world fall madly in love with him. The usual stuff. But instead of a tractable demon, he calls up Rincewind, probably the most incompetent wizard in the universe, and the extremely intractable and hostile form of travel accessory known as the luggage. Sounds fun and whimsical and cheeky in the way that the Discworld novels feel. And then, last book I got, I hopped through a few bookshops before I could find it, is The Magic Fish by Alain Nguyen. I've had this on my TBR list for such a long time. It is a graphic novel. The art of it is amazing. Real life isn't a fairy tale. In fairy tales, the prince falls in love with the princess, but Tien has a different story to tell. His parents are refugees struggling to learn English, and he doesn't know how to come out to them in Vietnamese. If he doesn't even have the right words, how can he ever know if his parents will accept him? The answer is in fairy tales, a language that Tien and his parents share. Tien learns from his favorite stories as he navigates the world with the help of friends, family, and fairy tales. Fairy tales? I'm in. Queer self-discovery and queer self-determination and bridging the generational distance through the power of fairy tales. I know I'm gonna cry so hard. And on top of that, it really looks such, like, the art looks so good. Like, even this first page, I fell in love with this first page. This is the first page. I cannot wait. This is another one of those graphic novels that I will read in one sitting, and I will be left probably in pieces, but also healed and put back together in a nice, warm way. So yeah, this is my haul. I don't know when the next one will be, because as I mentioned, I tend to not buy books for whatever reason. It just happens. I don't have anything against buying books. The philosophy in my household growing up was it's always worth it to buy a book. I have really nothing against buying books. You know why? What it is? I love the library. That's why. I always prefer to go to the library if I can, because I just love being there. Thank you so much for listening to me. I will update you whenever I read any of these books. To let you know how I like them and if they met my expectations. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!